All right, what an honor. I'm with Michael Bartley. If you would ever envision a person that was from Pittsburgh, a real Yunzer, it's him. Absolutely love him. And tonight, he's very gracious to give me an opportunity to sit in with he and a legend, Joe Mystic. We'll talk more about Joe in a moment. After I'm done with a special Pittsburgh work show, I'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. But the reason he's inviting me into his sandbox tonight in the playground that is
because he's a legend.
Michael Bartley.
That's number one. He's the legend. That's number one.
Listen to that voice. I could only be so lucky. Maybe in the next version of Rock Pratt, I'll get a voice like that. You and Larry Richard got the market on great voices. But anyway, we get the presidential election coming up soon, but we've got the debate, the first, tonight. CNN, the host, but CBS Radio is going to carry it, and we'll have it in its entirety on Kdka 100.1 FM AM 1020. Ryan McCullough, our exceptional producer, will be manning the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah.
This is so important, this debate tonight.
It's huge. So don't forget, our debate's live at 9.
Right.
Rob and I will be on from 8 to 9 for some pre-debate coverage.
Joe Mystic.
We're going to have Joe Mystic, who's a columnist with the Tribune Review.
Professor
Duquesne
of
Law professor.
Thomas Klein Law.
That's exactly right. Boy, you're really good.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about what surprises there could be, all of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of interest. The audience is going to be huge. Now listen, a lot of people don't like to watch the debate. They like to listen to the debate because you'll be driving, and that's number one. But number two, remember the Kennedy-Nixon debate? People thought Kennedy won it. Those were the people that were watching it on television.
Because he was so handsome.
Yeah, he was so handsome, and Nixon was sweating.
Right.
But people who listened to the radio thought Nixon won because he had all the information and all the facts and all the data. Mm-hmm. So we invite you to watch Kdka Radio tonight. Listen to Kdka Radio tonight. Listen and watch. That's all right. Yeah, you can too. Yeah.
Service.
So, but we're gonna have some fun stuff from 8 to 9 on the pre-debate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's let people understand that you are more than just a handsome young man, but you know some stuff. And Joe Mystic makes us all sound smarter than what we really are. This is such a crucial election in our country's history, especially Pennsylvania being a swing state. Yeah. 2016 is the reason Mr. Trump got elected. The last time out, Allegheny County put, I believe, Joe Biden in the White House.
And I agree with that. I really do. And this debate, will it make a difference? Likely. We are so polarized as a country. The Trump people like Trump, the Biden people like Biden. They're not going to change their mind no matter what happens tonight. But that small amount of independent voters, undecided voters, whether Republican, moderate Republicans, or Democrats, they are the ones that are going to pull the trigger on this deal. So any little thing to happen tonight that could sway somebody is very significant.
It is, and you know, this whole thing came out earlier today because the Trump camp was saying, hey, CNN, have you provided the questions ahead of time to Joe Biden, like they believe that happened to Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
They said no. The key is we remember when they got together the last time, it was a debacle.
It was crazy.
They need to stay in their lanes.
Yeah.
I even asked John Delano, what's the best way the moderator can do that?
Sure.
Hopefully, they'll have a question and an answer.
Yeah.
And they'll talk about real issues, the economy, the border, what's happening in Russia, what's happening, possibly with China and Taiwan, things that matter. But more than anything, job creation, manufacturing, the economy, those, I believe, are the big three.
Yeah, and don't forget the rules tonight. And this is really unorthodox. We're having a presidential debate before anybody's nominated.
Right.
They're not in Milwaukee until 3 weeks from now for the Republican National Convention, Chicago after that. These two aren't even nominated yet, and we're having a debate. What does that tell you? That tells you the interest, and this is just an unorthodox campaign season. But don't forget tonight, the microphones will go dead when the other guy's talking. No audience. That could bother Trump. So I don't think it's going to be like the last time, but if someone's still trying to talk over somebody, if we're still able to hear them and make it out what they're saying, then this will be all for naught. But they're going to try to bring some semblance of order for this thing.
You mentioned Chicago, and I remember in 1968, we're both old enough to remember what happened when the convention was there. This whole thing, as far as Trump and his legal problems, and he has that sentencing hearing just days before the convention, I just hope the country stays calm, lets the process play itself
Me
out.
too, me
and
too.
let's just hang on to our democracy and our Constitution. And Joe Mystic makes sense of that every time he's on the radio. But you,
And we're going to ask him about that.
you as a businessman, because you have another job,
Yeah.
which is your full-time job.
Sure.
How tough is it, do you think, to really have the American dream? I was talking to a gentleman earlier today who was celebrating his 40th anniversary, who came from Italy to this country, created an incredible business in the world of concrete. And he and I both agree it's difficult because work ethics have changed, the world has changed, our economy has changed, the price of everything has changed. What do we do to get back to the point of creating manufacturing, generational type of jobs, a middle class, putting the middle class back in our country, but more importantly, giving people like you and those coming up. We were just talking about our young producers and how much they mean to us, and people that you have helping
Like
you
this
as your
young
company.
man behind this camera.
Yeah, Ryan McCullough.
I
How do
think
we do that?
I think the symptoms of post-COVID are with us. They're going to be with us for a while, and that relates to business as well. That relates to the economy as well. I think we have to just let some time pass, stay on top of, maintain our democracy
At all times.
at all costs. At all costs, everything will be fine. You and I both know this is the greatest country that was ever invented, ever came to pass. It still is, and it always will be. We just have to, like you say, remain calm.
Listen, I've lost two dear friends in the world of covering politics and have been involved in politics. Bill Green for many years.
A great friend of mine.
And of course knew just about anything you ever wanted to know about politics. And of course Jim Rodham, first Allegheny County
Sure.
Chief Exec. But two things both of those gentlemen always talked about that I still think ring true. You want better schools, you want better health care, you want a better economy, you got to create more jobs.
Yeah, you want the basics is what you want. And I'll tell you, Pittsburgh is at a crossroads as well. You look today about the BNY Mellon situation. They're leaving the building.
2028 could be empty.
Could be empty. Downtown is sort of,
We were
fragile
both
at the
upset
moment.
about the 73-year-old gentleman that got beat
We
up.
were very upset about that. And we have to just restore, get back to the basics, and I think everything will be okay.
Well, and we need more corporate entities. That's why.
And we need to start getting along. I don't know what the answer to that is, but the polarization is not good. Listen, we were always one party or the other, but we were nice to each other. You could have a conversation without starting a fight and people walking away. We have to get back to, let's discuss. Compromise is part of democracy. That's how laws get passed. And we have to get back to that.
We do. One last thing, and I have to ask you, and I've not gotten your opinion on this, but I'm going to ask you, because I think it's very important. I want the Nippon Steel deal to get done. What do you think?
I want it to get done too. And I had the editor of Pittsburgh Business Times, he wants to get done too. I had him on the air right here on Kdka Radio. I wanted to get done because it seems like a good company. And it seems like the rank and file who call your show and my show,
We're Pittsburgh.
they know that it's a decent deal and the jobs aren't going to leave.
Listen, one thing I learned from Joe Mystic, he worked for Sophie Maslow.
Yep.
And they all worked together, no matter what your party affiliation was. But to give you an idea of the grit and the shoulders of the giants that we stand on, he talked about when Mr. Caligiuri, the late mayor, was dying and was ill, how he would actually wrap himself in a blanket and stay in that office to help Sophie make the transition.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's who we
Yeah,
are.
that's who we are as a city, that's who we are as a state, and that's who we are as a country. The peaceful transition of power. The January 6th thing is still fresh in everyone's minds.
Yeah.
Rob, it will be for a long
It's
time.
not my country.
But guess what? That wasn't me and that wasn't you.
No.
And this is a really big deal. That's good, and that'll be discussed tonight in this debate.
You and I've had Tom Corbett on many times.
Many.
He gets it. Look, Sarah Innamorato, Summer Lee, Mayor Gainey, I want them to all succeed.
Me too. Me too.
But we just have to get together, and the more people working together, the more you get accomplished.
Yeah, let's do away with the resentment and let's just get together and compromise.
Michael Bartley coming up at 6, 7 o'clock. Pittsburgh Works. I'll tell you about that in a bit. And I'm
We'll both be on at 8.
with Joe Mystic.
Yeah. And then 9 o'clock live debate, Kdka Radio, 10:20.
See, he's good. Have a great night, everyone. It's your Pratte.